Once again, we welcome you to Los Angeles, second game of this ABC doubleheader for the NBA on Christmas Day as Lamar Odom misses. It's the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns, a game that's starting to become one of the better rivalries as Grant Hill finishes for Phoenix down the other end. Phoenix has knocked out the Lakers 2 straight postseasons, so there's been some good, healthy respect, and maybe even some disrespect over the past couple of years between the two. As Trevor Ariza knocks down the shot. Stoudemire fouled on his way to the basket. Let's give you a look at our starting lineups presented by Samsung. For Phoenix, of course, a key member this year, Grant Hill, a longtime All-Star, so hurt for so many years, but signed as a free agent in his first year with Phoenix, and he is playing very well. And a key player for the Lakers, Andrew Bynum, the young center, just 20 years old, subject of trade rumors for a couple of years, who's really starting to develop. Only 20 years old, as we mentioned, and one of the big reasons why this team has started to progress.
Well, he's the key reason. You talk about a guy that was questioned early on in the season and even in the offseason, but here's a guy that took pride in himself, really established himself as one of the best big men in all of basketball and demanded minutes with his play on both ends of the floor.
And really, he's benefited by Kwame Brown being hurt. And I would suggest that he should stay the starting center when Brown's back healthy. But you have to give Mitch Kupchak a lot of credit for resisting the temptation to fall prey to Bryant's demands to trade Bynum to get more veteran. He stuck by his guns thinking this guy is a very good, young, promising center, and you've got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Steve Nash shaken up, got hit in the groin as Odom on the foul, able to put it in. Nash stays in, took an inadvertent shot, and gets to the basket. John Marion, that shot put jumper, three-pointer won't go. Ariza the rebound. But Jeff, you bring up Kobe Bryant. Of course, that's been one of the big stories first in the offseason and now through the NBA. He demanded a trade back in May, wanted out as Derek Fisher misses. Since the season has started, it has started to go away. Part of the reason has been the progress of this young team that is really starting to come together.
Well, they have better depth than almost every team in this league. Mitch Kupchak is drafted very well in successive years. They added Derek Fisher this year as their starting point guard. And guys like Bynum have continued to develop.
Grant Hill on a pull-up, knocks it down. We expect a pretty quick pace. Not only is Phoenix the #1 scoring team in the NBA, Lakers are 4th in scoring, and they're one of the better shooting teams. Lakers can score with the best of them, but Jeff, you believe that LA has become a much better defensive team.
They have. The last 2 years, they have been very weak defensively, and Phil Jackson and his staff recommitted to that into the floor. People forget how good a defensive coach Phil Jackson was when he was with the Chicago Bulls. This year, they're an outstanding defensive team.
He certainly didn't forget, Mark.
Well, he didn't. He remembers back in the days when his team struggled against him. But when you add a Derek Fisher into your lineup, he is the guy that initially starts the defense, does a great job of setting the tone, as Kobe does just that, finding Trevor Ariza underneath.
Lakers just back from a 4-game East Coast trip in which they went 3-1. As we mentioned, they've won 8 of their last 10. 7 games over 500. Oh, what a pass! And Marion with the one-handed finish.
We're about 4 minutes into this ball game, and Steve Nash has already made 2 or 3 passes that simply make you sit back and wonder, how good is this guy and his ability to probe the defense?
Most feel as Nash gets inside. Of course, a 2-time MVP deflected by Bryant, who goes crashing into Celebrity Road. Good sportsmanship from the two. Everybody apparently okay. Good, healthy respect between those two stars.
But this type of attitude, this energy, this effort really is contagious. When you sell out your body and you're willing to get dirty to do whatever it takes for a loose ball, believe it or not, guys on the bench and guys on the floor, it raises their level of play.
Now we have a foul away from the ball. It's going to go against Trevor Ariza.
So how's that not a foul, Mike, when you try to leapfrog somebody and you knee him in the back of the head?
No harm, no foul. That's the mantra for the crew today.
I like that.
Grant Hill, the little fake and the pull-up. Grant Hill just healthy, so happy to be out there playing game after game, knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be Phoenix ball. Phil Jackson going with the Christmas bow tie today.
Are you kidding me?
Now, I'm not one to get on people for how they dress, because Lord knows I'm not a great dresser, but that sets back senatorial splendor for years.
Oh,
You're not feeling it, huh?
He's setting you guys back as a coach.
Stoudemire gets it inside to Marion, and Sean Marion able to get it in. Speaking of guys who demanded a trade, Sean Marion did that for Phoenix before the season, but like Kobe Bryant, hasn't talked about it much during the course of the year, and is having just another one of those terrific all-around years that he every year has. Bryant gets fouled. Raja Bell hit him, and Bryant will go to the line for two. And there's Mike D'Antoni, the head coach of the Phoenix Suns in his 5th year now. And the fun thing about this rivalry is not only because the two teams have battled in the playoffs, but the two coaches have battled, trading unfriendly barbs as well as friendly ones. In fact, they had a little go after each other in their first meeting back on November 2nd. It was the Suns' home opener. Lakers pounded them. They're up by as many as 33 in that game. And Phil Jackson called a timeout late in the game. Mike D'Antoni was incensed, screamed down at Jackson during the course of the game. Jackson answered him back. They've traded some lines in the papers. And they're not downplaying it. They're very honest about the fact that they don't exactly love each other.
You see this guy is speechless. You know why? I appreciate it. I enjoy it. I think it gives an edge to the game, to the teams, and it really is what basketball and winning is all about.
Come on, Jeff.
No, I love it. Hey, listen. I love when guys are competitive. But I also think this. Phil Jackson has every right to call a timeout whenever he wants to. I've never understood why other coaches or teams get involved how other people, when they pull their people off the court in a blowout or when they call timeouts. Just coach your own team.
And a foul on Fisher down low. As some coach, I remember Luke Carnesecca saying that one time years ago to an opposing coach who was yelling at him saying, hey, it's tough enough coaching your own team. Worry about just them. And there you see both coaches. Of course, D'Antoni has had such success coming to Phoenix. Coached for many years over in Italy, won some championships there. And Phil Jackson with the 9 titles, tied with Red Auerbach, all the success he's had in the NBA. They made the Hall of Fame this past September, a wonderful honor that humbled Phil Jackson.
No, that's not possible. That is not possible. But he deserved it. And I would say this about Mike D'Antoni. He doesn't get the credit. He basically, in the last 4 or 5 years, revolutionized the NBA, how the game is played up and down more. People forget he was the first guy to go back to that all-out running style once he got Steve Nash.
Leandro Barbosa knocks down the 3. Barbosa, one of the best 6 men in the league, able to hit that.
And people are excited about it because a lot of people believe that you, Coach, set it back as far as on the offensive end.
Oh, harshness on Christmas Day. That's not right.
Kobe Bryant in and out. That's his first field goal attempt, and it took over 6 minutes. Bryant keeps talking about this young Laker team and the chemistry, the tight bond that's developed. Nice pass inside. Boris Diaw with the finish, and another beautiful assist from Nash.
And the only reason my offense was set back like that, Mike, was because I didn't have a point guard like Steve Nash. I had point guards like Mark Jackson.
Well, that point guard Steve Nash showing once again his terrific vision. 4 assists already for Nash.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kobe Bryant from the Los Angeles Lakers, and I want to wish everybody out there a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Kobe Bryant and the Lakers getting a chance to play on Christmas Day once again. But they trail by 6 with 5:20 remaining in the first quarter. Bryant wearing a microphone for us this afternoon and was spreading Christmas cheer earlier.
Merry Christmas, brother. Merry Christmas, brother. Play well. Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas, sweetie. Merry Christmas, Trick. Oh, Merry Christmas. Yes, sir. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Stevie, Merry Christmas, brother.
See, everybody has their own generic line when you can't remember somebody's name. His is brother. Some people say buddy, pal. His is brother. And he's right on cue. Bryant on a beautiful pass.
Just in case you didn't get the memo, this guy walked around the entire arena wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. What about the gifts?
Barbosa off the mark. And over the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. Some substitutions have come in. Vladimir Radmanovic.
When's the California primary? Is he running for office?
Well, he has been talking a lot to his teammates. Phil Jackson telling us before the game. He's been very vocal with this young group in a positive way. Bynum on a strong finish. And this young man continues to show his aggressiveness as the Lakers within 2.
Well, you look at the upside of Andrew Bynum. Defensively, he is a guy that changes shots. Offensively, a big-time finisher. Just a guy you can build your franchise around.
So much talked about Jason Kidd for Andrew Bynum, a deal that did not go down last year. Bryant was critical of that. But you look to a lot of people now and say, no way they trade Bynum, including Mark. You said that all along.
Well, and I know Jason Kidd covering him, and I think he's, no question about it, a Hall of Fame point guard, first ballot. But you talk about Andrew Bynum and his presence. The upside of this young man is tremendous. I did not believe then, and I certainly don't believe now, that you mortgage your future. He's a big-time finisher and a bright star for a long time to come.
He's the youngest player ever to play in the NBA. That was before they changed the rule. As you see, there's a lot of his points down low. He's developing the other parts of his game, but he's got very good footwork and has really progressed. Nash kicks it out to Marion. Radmanovic the rebound.
Mark, you really think he's a franchise player you can build around?
I absolutely do. When you look at the way that he has gotten better in a year's span, he is going to be tremendous. And this is a team. This is a guy they don't even go to.
Nash to Diaw. Here's Barbosa, last year's 6-man winner. Diaw gets inside. Blocked, but a foul. Odom hopping up and down, objecting to the call. Boris Diaw will go to the line.
But that's what they need out of Diaw, that aggression to go to the rim with force. Here he drove it baseline, blew by Bynum. That's a clear foul against Odom. They need more production from Boris Diaw.
Mike D'Antoni saying before the game, Diaw's been wandering a bit lately. A couple of years ago, he had just a tremendous year, was the NBA's most improved player. But Amari Stoudemire didn't play that year. Since Stoudemire's been back, Diaw's still trying to find his niche with the team, as we say hello to Michelle Tafoya. Hi, Michelle.
Hey guys, every game that Grant Hill plays is like another Christmas gift for him. After an injury-plagued career and a year off, he said, it's great now to be in practice every day, to be in games every day, to be playing heavy minutes, and to be thinking about strategy and who I'm matching up against instead of how I'm going to feel physically the next day. 16 points a game, nearly 35 minutes per game. He has started every game, Mike, and that's a gift for the Suns.
He says, I'm the healthy guy in the team, and a team that's been banged up is Nash. This fire, Stoudemire the rebound. And throws it back out. They said he stepped out of bounds, so it's Laker ball.
And when we talk about Grant Hill, I think about Ken Griffey Jr., Major League Baseball all-time great. Here's a guy that was on path, and if it wasn't for injuries, he would be included with the names of the Dr. J's and the Larry Birds. He is truly a gifted basketball player and was on his way to being mentioned with the best.
His first 6 years were phenomenal. As Fisher lines it up off the mark, boxing out from Diaw and grabs the board. Here's Marion. The athleticism, can't get it to fall. Fight for the rebound. Radmanovic very aggressive on the boards. Pass to Odom. Inside to Bynum. And a foul. The crowd likes it. The energy for the Lakers. As Bynum will shoot a couple. Yeah, we'll have another timeout. 2:47 remaining here in the first. Good up and down game thus far.
Merry Christmas and thanks for watching ESPN on ABC.
Home of the NBA Finals.
The NBA on ABC, brought to you by GoDaddy.com, world's #1 in .com domains. Make a .com name with us. The new All Jeep Liberty. And new Miller Chill, a refreshing light beer brewed with a hint of lime and salt.
Welcome back to Los Angeles as the Lakers and the Suns square off for the second time this season. Again, Kobe Bryant, that story so huge in terms of him wanting to be traded. Now, he still hasn't said that he doesn't want to be traded anymore, but says right now he's just concentrating on his job with the Lakers.
I think about being a part of the team that we have here in terms of us playing as a unit, and us enjoying each other's company, and separate what we're doing as a team from the business standpoint of basketball. And I think a lot of people don't understand that there's a difference, there's a separation between those two things. You know, growing up, you think that basketball is all about just going out there playing and having a good time and trying to win as many games as possible. But when you get to the NBA, you quickly realize that there's a business component to it, and the business side of it is something that I don't really care much for, but it's a necessary evil and it's something that needs to be dealt with.
Mark, he's got an uncanny ability to separate that distraction, which is probably still on his mind, and just concentrate when he's on the court about basketball.
Yeah, I said it before. You can count on your hand how many guys are mentally strong enough to be able to go through what he's going through and to come ready to play and get the job done at a high level in this league.
Nice move from Boris Diaw. Diaw very aggressive to start the game. And Tony says we need him. If we have a chance to win a title, he has to play a big role.
And Mike, just to touch back on that, Coach can also agree. You get guys in that situation that become a cancer to your team, and they sap the energy of everybody around them, and you wind up losing basketball and it not being enjoyable.
And if you look at the Chicago Bulls situation, where they've struggled mightily, one of the big issues there was two guys, Ben Gordon and Luol Deng, didn't get the offers that they thought they should have not played quite as well. Their chemistry hasn't been as good. Here in Lakerland, even though Bryant may or may not want to still go, they're playing together, they're playing hard, and they're winning at a greater rate than anyone could have expected them to.
It had a chance to be a disastrous situation, just one of those distractions that wouldn't go away when you have arguably the biggest star in the league. But you got to credit, obviously, Bryant, but you have to credit his teammates because they were a little insulted, perhaps, and they have turned it around and showed them, hey, we got some young guys that can play with you.
I asked Lamar Odom about that yesterday. He said it's about being professional. We have a bunch of professional basketball players. We have a bunch of guys that are excellent leaders, and they won't settle for anything less than getting the job done on the floor.
And I also think you have to give Phil Jackson a lot of credit. He has dealt with big names, big personalities, hard to deal with guys as all-stars are hard to deal with. He did a great job managing the situation.
Kobe Bryant knocks it down, 10 points for Bryant, and the Lakers have their first lead after trailing by 6. There's Brian Skinner, one of the new faces for Phoenix. Gets his own rebound on the miss. And a foul call on Ronny Turiaf. Odom tried to pick up that charge. As we mentioned, Bryant likes the supporting cast, including this Laker bench. Phil Jackson says it's more than numbers, it's energy, and they're one of the best benches in the NBA.
I look at it, and I agree with Phil Jackson. It's not about the numbers. This is a group of guys that when they enter the ball game, they have an impact on what is going on from that point forward, and that's what you want as a coach in this league.
There's Skinner as Raja Bell will come in. Skinner in his 10th year in the league. He's made 9 stops, played for 7 different teams. His first year in Phoenix as a free agent. They signed him because Kurt Thomas is now in Seattle. They need a big player. They need a big defender. And they like his shot blocking ability.
He's played well. But when you get a goatee like that, do you tell your barber dye it red? I mean, I don't understand that.
Some people are trying to make a statement.
I think his statement is he's a very good role player. He's played exceptionally well here. His numbers are very good.
Ronny Turiaf, there's one of the blocks. What they like about Skinner. Grant Hill ahead of the pack. They score about 2 seconds after possession. They love to push and are back up by 1.
I know Mike D'Antoni is saying if you're going to play defense like that, you color your beard any way you like.
Mike might even color it for him.
Pass inside, Turiaf blocked behind Skinner. 2 blocks already off the bench. Played his college ball at Baylor, was a good college player, and has done a nice job as a role player in the NBA.
That's what I like. Tell Coach Van Gundy, be quiet. I'm setting a tone on the defensive end, and Grant Hill does the rest in transition. Get it out of here, you and Coach Van Gundy.
The beard gives him strength. 9 on the shot clock. Bryant backs up. Raja Bell on him. Those two have a little history of going at each other. Ariza with 2 on the shot clock. Tough shot won't go. And Diaw comes up with it.
In that situation, Kobe Bryant made the play. If you're running Terry off, you got to knock down open shots. You can't turn it down because you will not get it back.
That's the first turnover for Phoenix as Bryant gets to the rim. Rebound Skinner, stripped by Bryant. The Diaw right there. Raja Bell passes up the three. Barbosa does not, but misses. And the Lakers will hold it for the final shot. You see Jordan Farmar just in the game. As the 24-second clock shut down. Phoenix has a foul to give. Mike D'Antoni trying to tell his team that they do. Ariza for three at the buzzer. Won't go. And that will end the first quarter. Phoenix started off strong, went up by as many as 6. Kobe Bryant didn't shoot for the first 6 minutes, but made up for lost time as he finishes with 10. This presentation of our NBA Christmas special continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
In this first quarter, what do you see that concerns you about the Lakers?
Well, I mean, they have Kobe Bryant over there. That's what concerns you. We're playing pretty well. We're moving the ball up and down the floor. We had a little, 2-minute mark there. We didn't score. We got to keep scoring and try to contain Kobe as well as we can. But so far, so good.
One of your best defensive players, Raja Bell, a little bit banged up. Can you tell how much you're going to be able to use him?
Well, I think we can use him a lot. He just get a little rusty, but I think he's fine physically.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Mike D'Antoni very focused on Kobe Bryant. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant used to be very focused on Mike D'Antoni because Kobe's father, Jelly Bean Bryant, played in Italy. So Kobe spent a number of years growing up in Italy, and the big player back then was Mike D'Antoni. In fact, that's one of the reasons why Kobe used to wear number 8, as Lamar Odom knocks down the shot. Yeah, Lakers back up by 2. Lamar Odom is one of those players that can make such a difference in a game. Another one that has had his share of injury problems, some off-the-court tragedies with families. But when he's healthy, one of the more versatile players in the league.
And he's a guy that should feel night in and night out that he's the second best player on the floor. If you're playing alongside of Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom has the skill, the ability to dominate the basketball game. At his size, he can play point guard position, so he's a game changer.
Bynum didn't think he shuffled his feet, but Billy Kennedy, the official, disagrees, and it's 5 turnovers from the Lakers. That's one of their problems offensively. Again, they can score, they can shoot, but they tend to turn it over a little bit. Diaw left open, and Diaw having a terrific start. 7 points, couple of rebounds. The young man from France who ties the game.
Diaw's a guy that really was the key to the success of the Phoenix Suns a couple of years ago. They need him to be aggressive and take the pressure off of Steve Nash to be the lone playmaker on the floor.
Nash getting his usual rest, relaxing. As that foul was on Diaw, that's his first. Bryant also getting his rest. Those two guys both drafted back in 96. Kobe was the 13th selection. Nash was the 15th selection. That year, Allen Iverson was number 1. Again, pretty good picks late in the teens.
Well, you look at those 3 guys, I don't need to know the rest of the draft to say that was a brilliant draft.
And there it is. Marcus Camby was number 2. Abdul Rahim, Marbury, Ray Allen. Some pretty nice selections in '96. Jermaine O'Neal was also in that draft at number 17. Three reserves in there for the Lakers. Ariza, Farmar, and Sasha Vujacic as Grant Hill easily gets in. And Hill with 10 points. Hill, one of 5 players on Phoenix averaging more than 16 a game. Nice catch and finish. Bynum again, aggressive. And he's 4 for 4 from the field.
Phoenix rotation and help are too late. On the pick and roll, they're getting dunked. On lobs over the top, when they front the post, they're getting dunked. They've got to be earlier to help.
Hill too strong. Farmar off to the races. Gets it to Ariza. Ariza with a finish. Blocking foul. Count it and 1.
Pushing the basketball in transition. Ariza says to Grant Hill, I know your work. Get in my poster. Attack and fly into the basket. Excellent job. Hill looks like he's in position. The Lakers say yes. And Kobe Bryant says, Merry Christmas to you.
And Gary Zielinski, the official, to me, just got caught up in the emotion of the play. That was a dead charge.
We see if the heel was in the restricted area.
The heel wasn't anywhere near the restricted area. The guy just wanted to appreciate the dunk, so he got caught up in the flow and the emotion of the crowd.
Well, Ariza getting caught up in playing back in Los Angeles as we have a foul. Second one called on Odom. Let's take another peek. Let's look at the right. No. Now, did he get under after Ariza got up in the air? That's pretty close.
Yeah, I've been there before. You got dunked on. Forget about everything else. You got dunked on. Accept it and get back and continue to play.
2.5 gone by here in the second, along with Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Michelle Tafoya, Mike Green here at the Staples Center. Farmar off 1 foot, and they love this kid. Played 1 year of college ball at UCLA and starting to become a big part of the rotation.
What I love about him is he comes into the ball game and he sets the tone on the defensive end, playing extremely confident offensively, looking to take and make shots.
Actually played 2 years at UCLA. Vujacic misses. Bynum right there, and foul. Andrew Bynum gives the Lakers an 8-0 run. Mike D'Antoni waving. He wants timeout.
And I'm sorry, Coach Van Gundy, this guy's a franchise player. You talk about his size, great hands, can finish in traffic, spectacular player. And then forget about this. I want to fall in love with this play. Grant Hill attacking the body, bringing up the Lakers bench. They are rolling.
6-point lead for LA.
What's good? Hope you're having a Merry Christmas. I'm Stuart Scott in this Sports Center Minute, powered by Vizio. In Game 1 of our doubleheader, LeBron James went off 25 points and a dozen dimes as Cleveland took down the Miami Heat 96-82. Bron 6 boards to go with it. After the Suns and Lakers flip it over to ESPN, Kevin Durant facing the hottest team in the league, the Trailblazers, who have won 10 straight. Now let's go back to Mike, Jeff, and Action Jackson. He is for real.
Stuart, thank you. I don't know if we can still call him Action Jackson.
I don't know if we can call LeBron Bron. I think his mom may be able to get away with that, but I'm not going there.
Well, Bron, one of the stories in the NBA, but some of the big headlines so far this season, of course, the resurgence of the Boston Celtics, 22-3 with Kevin Garnett. How about the Spurs, even with Parker and Duncan missing some games, still rolling along? And then you look at these emerging stars, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Darren Williams, superstars of the future. And then some rough starts for some pretty important teams, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, and the Knicks. As Bynum will go to the free throw line. Let's go to Boston, guys. We knew that it was going to be a lot better with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. Did you expect it to be this good, this quickly?
I did, certainly, because when you look at Kevin Garnett, just a joy to be around. His leadership, intensity, leaves it on the floor, and that is a team that has bought into the defensive structure of Doc Rivers and his coaching staff. So there's no surprise that they're that good.
Raja Bell with the jump shot, puts it in. You used the term, Jeff, uniter to describe Steve Nash. Garnett's the same kind of guy.
He is, from a front court position, which is more difficult to do. But he's sacrificed shot attempts. He's a very good passer from the high post. I thought they'd be good, but I didn't jump on their bandwagon like Mark said he just did. Thought they were going to be 22-3. But their defense is where they've been stronger than I thought.
Shot clock down to 3. Odom has not shot well from that range. Misfires that time. The Celtics do begin their first West Coast trip coming up this week. They've played a lot of home games, a lot of games on the East Coast. As Grant Hill looking to line things up.
And you're right. To be fair, they played a very weak schedule so far comparatively to the rest of the league. But Doc Rivers and Tom Thibodeau, their lead assistant coach, have done a wonderful job transforming them from a non-defending team to the best defensive team in the NBA.
Of course, we have to make sure that we mention that Thibodeau is your former assistant. Very high on, terrific overall coach, getting a lot of credit for the defense as Bynum call for his second foul. Skinner's done an excellent job defensively. And there you see Paul Pierce just loving having a couple of fellow All-Stars with him.
I think somewhere Tom Thibodeau is watching this game saying that the announcing is brilliant, especially with Jeff Van Gundy being part of it. I think somewhere he's giving credit.
All right, so Christmas Day, I called him on the phone to wish him Merry Christmas in the office, getting ready for Sacramento. He's got no life, but they defend. That's what I love about him.
Here's Farmar. Gets inside, left-handed, high off the glass. And they count a goaltend. Ball tipped after it hit the backboard. Jordan Farmar with 2 points. How about Farmar? We say this a lot. Living a dream. Young man who was born and raised in Los Angeles. You think as a kid he probably dreamed about playing for UCLA? Well, he did that. Probably dreamed about playing for the Lakers. He's doing that. And he's getting a chance to be a part of a pretty good Laker team. Skinner. Stoudemire keeps it alive. Nash hits a three. Steve Nash has not looked to shoot too much early as he knocks that one down.
Excellent job by the Phoenix Suns moving the basketball to the Lakers. You got to close out the shooters. Inexcusable to allow Steve Nash to get a wide open jump shot.
And Phil Jackson calls timeout. Jeff, you talked about it. You can certainly dish the ball, but what a great shooter.
He's the most efficient shooting guard since John Stockton, just a dead eye.
And the button nose and toys made out of coal. Frosty the snowman made the children smile, they say. And were they surprised when he rolled his eyes and he came to life that day?
The NBA on ABC, brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Olivia, award-winning high-definition television. And First Sunday, in theaters January 11th, rated PG-13.
Back in Los Angeles on Christmas Day, earlier this week, Kobe Bryant became the youngest player ever to score 20,000 career points amongst many of his accomplishments. And as I mentioned, Kobe wearing a mic, very much into this one here this afternoon.
Hey, Jordy. He's the most dangerous one on the floor right now. Oh, man, come on now. I'm too old for that. Nah, yeah, but not enough to do that.
I'm too old for that.
I got to keep some in the tank. Don't miss the free throw, though.
I have a problem with anybody who's 29 years old saying I'm too old for that.
You know, the thing that stands out with that clip is on the sideline talking about the game of basketball. Not a star thinking, okay, it's my time to sit over here and just relax and get a breather. No, be into the ball game. He's totally into making your team better.
And I like the joy he showed, but the one thing that stands out, how has that guy never been the regular season MVP? He's the best player in the league and has been for a while. How has he never been the MVP of our league?
It could change. Of course, when they won the championship, Shaquille O'Neal was here. Shot clock down to 5. Nash. Bynum the rebound. What a game Bynum is having. 14 points, 5 boards. Fisher inside Radmanovich. Can't get it to fall. Rebound tipped and taken by Bryant. That's a 3. Stoudemire the rebound. Nash has it knocked away from behind. Nash starting to foul. Bryant fouled by Stoudemire. They should be in the penalty. First foul on Stoudemire. Our NBA calendar coming up again tonight on ESPN. Right now, the hottest team in the NBA, the Blazers, 10 in a row. Amazing. That game on ESPN tonight. Then Wednesday on NBA TV, Heat and Sixers, Timberwolves and Warriors. And then on Thursday, TNT doubleheader, Cavs and Mavericks, Celtics onto that West Coast trip in Seattle against the Sonics. Derek Fisher knocks down the shot. Where Derek Fisher has been such a nice addition, re-signing here in L.A., where he began his career his first 8 years, part of 3 championship teams. Nice feet inside. Marion can't get it to go. Radmanovich tips it out. And the Suns get a new 24.
When you upgrade at the point guard position, it gives you a better chance to beat the Phoenix Suns because it forces Steve Nash to have to play defense.
Fisher the foul. Stoudemire to the line. First on, check that second on Fisher.
And what you can't do, you can't allow Steve Nash to just have a breather on the defensive end. You must put him in pick and roll situations and look to force him to defend, and Derek Fisher does exactly that.
And Derek Fisher is usually a very low percentage shooting player from the field, shooting 40% from the career. This year, he has shot nearly 49% from the field, having an outstanding year shooting the ball.
And one of the reasons he signed, he could have signed for more money elsewhere, but wanted to sign in L.A. because of the medical treatment that his daughter could get. His daughter, Tatum, had eye cancer surgery. Big story in last year's playoffs. That was his wife, Candace, there with his daughter.
How cute is she?
It's just adorable. She's doing very well, but receiving treatment. That was last year. She had eye cancer surgery, and Fisher continued to play with Utah last year, but felt L.A. was a better place for her to be as he knocks down another. He was the third leading scorer on those championship teams behind Shaq and Kobe. A very good playoff performer. Such a smart veteran.
Well, he's a knockdown shooter. You see what they're doing. Setting solid screens, trying to wear down the body of Steve Nash, and Fisher getting wide open look. But you look to headhunt Steve Nash when you're setting screens. Don't allow him just to roam. Put a body on him. The result, Derek Fisher getting a wide open look, and that's a guy that'll make you pay the price when he gets that look.
Fisher now 33 years old.
Got to give the Utah Jazz a lot of credit. They let him out of his contract to come to a division rival or a Western Conference rival, and because they were looking out for his best interest. So you got to give Larry Miller, the owner, Kevin O'Connor, and Jerry Sloan a lot of credit.
And they miss him. That team definitely misses him, especially when the team goes wrong. You need that type of player. Oh, Barbosa. Pretty move from Leandro Barbosa. And ooze from the crowd here at the Staples Center. Alley-oop to Bynum. And a foul. Bynum now 7 for 7 from the field. And the crowd erupts again.
When you look at Andrew Bynum, what you begin to realize is this guy is gaining more and more confidence. He's getting a swagger about himself. The more success he gets, catches an alley-oop pass over Amari Stoudemire, all of a sudden bouncing around like he's a heavyweight champ of the world. He is feeling it and getting it done.
Andrew Bynum, who grew up in Plainsboro, New Jersey, which is about halfway between New York and Philadelphia. He just played the game before this in New York, spent several $1,000s on tickets, had about 40 family members at Madison Square Garden to watch him play, but he said it was worth it because he's really starting to come into his own.
Well, NBA players always have the largest families when they come home.
Stoudemire the finish.
40 family members. I couldn't draw 40 people to a game that I coached at if I wanted to.
Bryant gets in, alley-oop to Bynum again. Takes his time, blocked that time. That's his first miss. Barbosa banks it in, and a foul.
Mark, that's where he is at his best. Catching the ball and being able to attack the basket in transition. Another great advance pass up the floor. He's got great speed. He's got that little floating shot. Very good going to his left hand. He's much better as an undersized 2 than he is as a point guard.
Barbosa, the NBA Sixth Man of the Year last year. When he was told last year by the Suns' great PR woman, Julie Fye, that he won the Sixth Man, he didn't believe her. He said he needed to see it on TV before that he actually believed that he won. He's such a humble young man from Brazil. Said he called his mother, and his mother just started crying on the phone. He's very close with his mom. What a career he's had. Slowly but surely now has become one of the best NBA Sixth Men.
Hold it. He believes what he sees on TV? Come on. I'd believe Julie Fye before I believe what I saw on TV.
Bryant gets fouled. Grant Hill on the reach-in. And that's 2 fouls on Grant Hill.
And you mentioned about Barbosa. He said, hey, I give a lot of credit to the D'Antoni brothers that really had an impact on me coming over here. I asked Coach D'Antoni, hey, who would win a 2-on-2, the Van Gundys or the D'Antonis? He said, hey, we would, and there'd be a lot of posting up also.
Mike D'Antoni, the head coach, and Dan D'Antoni, his older brother, who joined him a couple of years ago as an assistant.
Underestimating the quickness of the Van Gundys off the dribble.
And there's Dan back there. He coached high school basketball in South Carolina for over 30 years. As Kobe Bryant hearing the MVP chants. 12 points for Bryant. 3-point Laker lead.
You know what I love what Bryant's done this year? In the last 2 years, he's cut back his field goal attempts by over 7. And that, it just shows you he understands how good his teammates are and how he has to play to help this group maximize their potential.
Grant Hill got hit. Bryant with his first foul, and Hill will go to the line. Coming up, halftime. T-Mobile halftime report. Stuart Scott, Bill Walton, Michael Wilbon will join us. First half analysis. Kobe's Fave 5. Highlights from today's first game of the doubleheader. Cavaliers with a much-needed win. And a very special Christmas for Derek Fisher. We just mentioned the story about his daughter. And a very interesting story as told by our Tom Rinaldi. There's Candace Fisher. So that's coming up. All on the T-Mobile halftime report as Hill knocks down a couple of free throws. 1 point Laker lead, just over 3.5 remaining here in the second. Odom spinning. Bynum trying to take it away, but Stoudemire the rebound. A couple of young studs down low, and Stoudemire and Bynum. Nash misses. Odom another rebound. 7 boards for Lamar Odom. Fisher feeling it. 8 points for Fisher. And 4 assists. Alley-oop. Nash, perfect pass to Stoudemire. And that's 6 assists for Nash.
Oh, when you play against the Phoenix Suns, you have to be committed to getting back on the defensive end. Can't fall in love with what just happened on the offensive end. Got to get back and converge, stop the basketball.
Ball poked out of bounds. They scored so quickly. In fact, a book called 7 Seconds or Less a couple of years ago, written by Hall of Fame writer Jack McCallum. They try and score in 7 seconds or less. Meanwhile, the Lakers doing a lot of scoring, and Derek Fisher, very strong game this afternoon, Mark.
Making Nash play defense, uncontested jump shot, but falling in love in a home run trot. Stoudemire says, okay, keep on running. Finishing at the rim from the delivery from Nash, making Bynum pay the price.
Christmas Day in Los Angeles, a 1-point game here in the second. Today's telecast available on ABC HD, presented by Olivia. Stone's throw from Hollywood here at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. And, of course, plenty of representatives from Hollywood in attendance to watch their Lakers, including Andy Garcia, Jim Belushi, George Lopez, blowing kisses on Christmas, and David Arquette. And let's go to our Michelle Tafoya with a special guest.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to Ice Cube. A huge Laker fan, grew up in South Central LA. So much that you come out on a Christmas day. What do you think of this team right now?
We're looking pretty good. You know, our young players are starting to develop and look real good. And, hey, we look like a playoff team right now.
When you heard earlier that Kobe Bryant was demanding a trade, what did you think?
You know, I felt for him. You know, I felt it was time to put some pressure on the front office to get him somebody in here to help him win a championship. That's what he's made for.
Well, does Andrew Bynum look like the guy who might develop into that player to you?
Definitely starting to. You know, the more he plays, the better he gets.
Well, it's great to see you. Merry Christmas. You nudged me and said Jim Belushi's sitting right next to me. Are you giving him a hard time?
Oh, yeah. You know, we sitting here. We got the best seats in the house checking out the game.
Have fun.
Merry Christmas.
All right, Michelle, you know what guy's a fan when they say, we're looking pretty good. I mean, he really, as Raja Bell hits a 3, he really meant like he's part of the team. Game tied at 53.
And who doesn't have Ice Cube's It Was a Good Day on their iPod?
You don't even have an iPod. Fisher. Oh, did you get one for Christmas? Did you get one this morning?
No, I didn't. But if I get one, that's the first song that's going on.
I love that because not just basketball-wise, but you have to show versatility in your musical selection.
Nash, a 3. Steve Nash from downtown. You know, I mentioned about Kobe Bryant. People forget he was booed opening night here on their home opener. Fisher again. Derek Fisher from downtown. 15 points in 14 minutes for Fisher.
There's a such thing called a heat check. When you are knocking down shots, Derek Fisher in a zone right now and really attacking Steve Nash in the Suns defense.
Marion got fouled. Bryant got his hands on him. That's going to be 2 on Kobe Bryant. But the fans let Kobe Bryant know that they weren't happy with the trade demands, and he got booed. That quickly went away when he started to play so well.
You mean fans are fickle? Really? I mean, I always think of it like this.
There he goes.
If a fan has a problem at work, and he wants, as you see Mitch Kupchak, who's done a tremendous job here, and he has a problem, doesn't Kobe Bryant have a right to state his opinion. I think he's earned the right to state his opinion about the course of the team. Now, I don't agree with what he was saying, and I certainly don't agree with his evaluation of Bynum, but he's earned the right to speak his mind.
He was actually filmed in an amateur video in a parking lot criticizing Bynum. Pretty harsh criticism. As Odom, the extra, nice pass. And Arizo wide open. But now Kobe Bryant is Bynum's biggest supporter. It's telling him he's just so impressed with the kid's work ethic, which has really improved as Fisher's call for a foul.
Well, the difference, Kobe Bryant said yesterday, hey, last year Andrew Bynum worked hard, but in between practice, whether it be a 2-hour session. Now all of a sudden he's there before practice, he's staying afterwards, so he's putting the time in and he's getting results on the floor.
Speaking of results at the free throw line, Steve Nash has gone to the free throw line 89 times this year. He's only missed 6 of them. It's 93%. He's the third best all-time free throw shooter in the history of the NBA. Only Mark Price and Rick Barry a better career percentage. He began the season, Nash did, hitting 53 consecutive. The NBA's all-time mark still remains, though, Michael Williams, 97 in a row. 1-point game in the final minute of the first half. Bryant, Odom, inside, lays it in.
Phoenix's pick-and-roll defense is just not going to get it done. Right there, Leandro Barbosa's guarding Ariza. He's got to pull in and protect the basket.
Nash knocks down another 3. 13 points for Nash. He prefers to pass, but also realizes when his team needs him to shoot.
Well, they're going under on the pick and roll.
Skinner deflects it out of bounds. Well, they say last touch by Bynum. Halftime at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Lakers and Suns tied at 62 at halftime. Both coaches mic'd in their locker rooms.
All right. It's a lot of points. A ton of points. I don't know if we can stand the pace. Just play within yourself during the course of this game.
But you know where you're going to win it? Offensive rebounds, where you're going to win it, run back and don't give them a quick shot. Where you're going to win it is be real efficient in what we do.
Well, Mike D'Antoni seemed pretty efficient. Only 2 turnovers in that first half. Hi again, everyone, and Merry Christmas with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand. Let's start Kobe Bryant. Obviously, he's the main guy, but he's getting a lot of help. The old man on the team had quite a first half.
Derek Fisher really forcing the issue on the offensive end, looking to be aggressive. New technology. We can now track the player's movement on the floor, getting it done as far as technology is concerned. Derek Fisher pushes the basketball, does an excellent job of selling that he's a decoy. You got to headhunt if you're going to set screens. Finds the open spot. The basketball is delivered. Once again, decoy, cross screen, going away, movement. Nash ignores him, immediately turns, easy basketball, excellent delivery, and he is forcing the issue, looking to be aggressive. 7 of 12, 15 points, 4 assists. He's had an impact on this ball game.
Meanwhile, it's amazing, Jeff, how efficient Phoenix can be despite their pace.
Well, they're a point guard dominated system, and it's all about the decision maker. Here's Steve Nash scanning the floor. Grant Hill still a very good runner and finisher. Easy basket, solid fundamental play. And here, most players can't make this pass right-handed, let alone left-handed. Advance to Raja Bell. Quick dish to, again, a running, sprinting Grant Hill. You will run in this league if you know you'll get rewarded. And Steve Nash rewards his runners.
And that's certainly the norm for Phoenix. As we mentioned, 5 players average 16 or more. 6 players average in double figures. It's always a balanced attack. You mentioned about Nash. Nash in the left hand. He tells a story back when Steve Nash was 15 years old trying out for a British Columbia team. He didn't make the team. Coach told him your left hand was too shaky. He said a coach was never going to tell me that again. And now his left hand is just phenomenal.
Well, this is the truth. I took 1 left-handed shot in 17 years, and that was on a dare by Coach Van Gundy.
Ariza, the steal and the pass. Here comes Bryant the other way. On the attack, just floats it up there beautifully.
I want to know the name of that coach in British Columbia. My, could you overlook his left hand for the vision, for the shooting?
Well, he inspired him to be a better player. Hill kicks it out. Shot clock down to 7. Haven't said that a lot today. Nash again from three-point range. Steve Nash with his 4th three-pointer of the game.
But I hate how LA is trying to defend the pick and roll. You cannot go under the pick against Steve Nash. He's too good a three-point jump shooter. You've got to make him drive by going over the top, make him go into the teeth of the defense and finish on 2-point shots.
Odom knocks it down. You mentioned about Nash, 47% from downtown shooting.
And if you're going to go underneath the screen, the important thing is Stoudemire knocks down the jump shot. Go underneath and explode. You have to make sure there's a sense of urgency to get back to the body of Steve Nash.
The teams exchanging baskets in the opening minutes. Suns by 1. Largest lead by either team was 7. It's been close throughout. Raja Bell, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Gets up on Bryant, fires away and backs it in. He's coming off a 39-point game in New York against the Knicks, where he went over the 20,000 career point mark. Hasn't been shooting the ball all that well recently, as Nash misses that one. During that stretch on the East Coast, he only shot 39%, yet the team was still 3-1. That shows you the growth of the team. And Ariza's shot in and out. Bynum just out working. Odom blocked by Stoudemire. Ball loose. Bryant, the fake, and the bank shot.
All hail Kobe Bryant.
But credit Bynum for initially keeping that possession alive.
The bank shot before that was that's just unheard of.
Stoudemire gets inside. Raja Bell for 3. That's good. And both teams coming out hot from the outside. 77. This is a final score of the old Miami Heat Knicks games, Mark.
Yes, well, why are you saying Mark? Say Coach Van Gundy. He was the orchestrator.
In overtime, I might add.
As Bynum fouled as he gets inside. Let's send it over to Michelle.
You've been talking about Bynum and Bryant. Mike D'Antoni at halftime said we have to do a better job defending the pick and roll, stopping Kobe earlier and rotating over to Andrew Bynum. He said what's keeping us in this game is the offensive rebounds, the fact that we're not turning the ball over, but he still wants more rebounding overall so they get more opportunities to score, Mike.
All right, Stoudemire picks up his 3rd, their key rebounder. Stoudemire and Marion, as Bynum hits the free throw.
And if you're going to be a scorer in this league, you have to work before you catch the basketball. Raja Bell doing a great job of battling Kobe Bryant, but patience on the offensive end. Get everybody out of my way. Tough shot. The bank is open even on Christmas for Kobe.
Bynum hits the free throw. Bynum is 66% from the line, but hits a pair there. Nash out to Marion. Raja Bell flips it up and short. Odom, 8 rebounds for Odom. Alley-oop for Ariza. Oh, perfect pass. And the athletic Trevor Ariza with the finish. Trevor Ariza has been a nice addition for the Lakers, acquiring him during the season from Orlando. Nash can't hit. Odom another rebound. Ariza, another guy, played at UCLA. Only 1 year with the Bruins. Played with the Knicks, the Magic, and now the Lakers.
But once again, he's a guy that sets the tone on the defensive end. That's where he gets, makes his money.
Sean Marion making his money, finishing down the other end. Off the turnover, Kobe Bryant getting in Gary Zielinski's face. Very close to getting a technical. He thought he was fouled on the previous play.
This is the same guy that was wishing everybody a Merry Christmas.
He saw that turnover number, so key for Phoenix today. Ariza. Nash ahead, deflected by Fisher. And Fisher with a nice leap to avoid crashing into somebody on courtside seats.
And Mike, you know who he just walked by as he jumped over? The lead singer of Maroon 5 right there, Adam.
Somebody told him that about
No.
You have no idea. Nash.
I know Maroon 5. There he is.
All right, how many people are in the band?
5. Cinco, I got that.
He goes from Ice Cube to Maroon 5. That's impressive.
I have eclectic taste.
Kobe Bryant fires away and nails it. Bryant now with 20 points on 7 of 11 from the field. He already has 8 points here in the third.
And you can sense that he's heating up on the offensive end. Shawn Marion backpedaling. You cannot allow Bryant to step into a rhythm jump shot.
And Bynum just picked up his 3rd foul.
What you have to do here, Mike, you have to trust the defense behind you. Shawn Marion baiting Kobe Bryant into a jump shot. You have to be close the airspace, and allow other guys to be in position to help you. You give him that type of airspace, you will pay the price because he is an excellent jump shooter.
But I like this. You've got to give Amari Stoudemire more chance to go at Bynum. Bynum's weakness is not on the offensive end. One-on-one defense, you've got to give Stoudemire the ability to try to take him off the dribble and test his lateral quickness.
Stoudemire, of course, a couple of years ago, overcame the serious knee injury. One of the dynamic young players in the league. He's only 25 years old. This is his 6th year in the league. Another guy came right from high school to the NBA. 6 different high schools. Last one, Cypress Creek, down to Florida.
You said 6 high schools?
6 high schools.
Yeah, I was going to say something. I knew you couldn't just leave that alone.
Odom misses. Bynum keeps it alive. Stripped by Grant Hill, but gets it back. Fisher's had the hot hand. Not that time. And Stoudemire another rebound. Hill to the basket. Kicks it out. Marion for 3. And Ariza the rebound. Ariza getting the first start of the season for him. No Luke Walton today. Sprained ankle. Kwame Brown still out with the ankle and knee injury. So a couple of players out for the Lakers. Nash to Bell. Phoenix slow getting back. Still Suns ball.
And Roger Bell looks over to Coach D'Antoni and says, I need a breather. Immediately sends Barbosa into the ball game.
Bell has been bothered by back spasms recently.
And by having to guard Kobe Bryant today. I'd be winded too. Get me out, coach.
He always says the key because he knows Bryant's going to score and try to keep him off the free throw line. Bryant's 6 for 6 from the line.
Get me back in when Vujacic comes back in.
Vujacic. We love your pronunciation sometimes. Bryant back to Odom. The finish. Another turnover. They've been careful with the ball, but not here. Bynum, blocking foul. Stoudemire, according to Greg Willard, moved. And that's 4 fouls now on Amari Stoudemire. And we'll have a timeout. The Laker fans really starting to enjoy this team. Right now, they lead by 2.
Merry Christmas, and thanks for watching ESPN on ABC.
Home of the NBA Finals.
The NBA on ABC, brought to you by Corona. This holiday season, spread the good cheer with Corona and Corona Light. And as always, celebrate responsibly. Nike. Do you love basketball or do you love famous? The Accord, Beyond the Road, all new from Honda. And Cisco, welcome to the Human Network.
Back in Los Angeles, Lakers lead the Suns by 2. Lamar Odom having a nice all-around game, 11 points and 9 rebounds, as we mentioned, when Odom's healthy, playing well. Such a versatile player. Odom's 28 years old, out of Rhode Island, was the 4th overall pick back in '99. That was with the Clippers. First 4 years with the Clippers, who he traded for Shaq, has bounced around. Now in his 4th year with the Lakers. As we said, such a versatile player. Had some shoulder problems, missed the preseason first couple of games because he had surgery in the offseason. But can do so many things, a triple-double waiting to happen.
He has to think, even in this ball game, okay, if there's a draft, it's Kobe, Steve Nash, he has to feel like he should be the number 3 pick. With his size and his ability, he can be a force every single night.
Christmas Day in Los Angeles, second game of our NBA doubleheader on ABC. Lakers and the Suns, a couple of teams that have battled in the playoffs each of the last 2 years. Suns winning both first-round series. Right now, a 2-point lead for the Lakers, 5.5 to play in the third. Lakers coming in, a hot team. They've won 8 of 10. Ariza with the strip of Grant Hill. Trevor Ariza having a real impact on the game. Ronny Turiaf is checked back in. Lakers going with that bench. Fisher blocked by Nash. Fisher thought he was hit. Diaw the rebound. Nash looking to run. 18 points, 8 assists for Nash. That's a three. Short. Phil Jackson feels that they can run with any team, including Phoenix. Is this pace okay for them?
It's okay for them because they get it done on the defensive end. What I like about their even running in transition is selective running. You take care of the basketball and you run when you have opportunities. Don't allow unforced errors.
And you see the scoring numbers. Almost 110 a game for Phoenix, which is not a surprise. They've been leading the NBA in scoring the past 4 years. And the Lakers, though, also doing a lot of scoring. And Bryant will shoot some free throws. And more chance of MVP. One of these years, that'll come to fruition as he gets the first. Our NBA calendar tonight. You can watch the hottest team in the NBA on ESPN. 10 in a row for Portland. They'll host the Seattle Sonics. Wednesday on NBA TV. Heat and Sixers from Philly. Timberwolves and Warriors from out in Oakland. And then Thursday, Cavs and Mavericks in Dallas. Celtics and those Sonics out in Seattle. Big West Coast trip for the Boston Celtics, their first of the year.
What do you call it when your team nickname is indicative of how good you're playing? The Blazers are on fire, 10 in a row. What is that word called? You know, when it, I shouldn't be asking you guys. Fordham and St. John's.
Hey.
Come on.
Just because you went to Yale.
I just got to know my audience. I forgot.
Well, your audience wants to know about Portland. Even without Greg Oden, what they're doing has been amazing.
Nate McMillan, Brandon Roy together. That's a good team. That guy can really coach, and Brandon Roy can really play.
It really makes you begin to think how good they're going to be when Greg Oden comes back healthy. That's a scary line.
Bryant misses. Raja Bell the rebound.
You know who else has played well? Travis Outlaw. Sometimes it takes those kids coming from high school a while to get going. They found the right position for him. A small, quick four-man playing very well off their bench.
Diaw misses. Barbosa comes flying in. Back to Diaw. Diaw being aggressive today. Darian's tip won't go. And Trevor Ariza another rebound. Bryant tried to throw it in there. He got kicked. So the shot clock will remain at 18 as Brian Skinner returns now for Phoenix. Sasha's coming back in the game.
I'm just going with Sasha from now on.
Hey, you're on punishment. You just named it. His first name is, you're only allowed to call him Sasha.
I've called him everything but his real last name.
Sasha Vujacic in his 4th year out of Slovenia. He's had some very good games recently. Former first-round pick, has had stretches where he hasn't played, but he had a 19-point fourth quarter a couple of weeks ago.
Well, he battles on the defensive end, and he is elite to spot-up shoot.
Odom able to put it in. All 5 starters in double figures for the Lakers as they lead by 5.
He also has quick feet, and he's longer and bigger than you would think as a perimeter defender.
He's 6'7", and Bell hits a 3. Big bucket for Bell to bring the Suns back within 2. They're 8 for 18 from downtown. There's Vujacic. Turiaf. Shot clock at 7. Fisher fires away. And Barbosa comes flying in for the rebound. And he's bumped by Vujacic in a foul. Vujacic makes sure that he's okay. Vujacic grew up in a town where skiing was the main sport. His mother was a great volleyball player, played on the national team. And again, it's been a struggle for him. He says his rookie year was a terrible year. He didn't play a lot. Every year just seems to get a little better. Plays with a little bit of an edge to him, too, and Phil Jackson likes that. Steve Nash hits a 3. 5 3-pointers for Nash. He's got 21, and the Suns back up by a point.
And if you're Phil Jackson, you don't like the fact that the last 2 possessions they get knocked down jump shots by Nash and Bell. You have to close out and be in position not to allow them to establish a rhythm.
Ariza showing a soft touch. That's the part of the game he needs to work on. Barbosa. Bell. Davis in the three. Back-to-back three-pointers. And the Phoenix Suns up by 2.
If I'm Roger Bell, I do the same thing. Act like I meant to bank it in.
Bell now with 14 points. And then a foul on Ariza after the turnover. Lakers not in the penalty yet. Phoenix Suns knocking him in from downtown.
Now they're a team that loves to go on runs, and if you give them wide open looks, you're in trouble. Bell, no contest, knocks down the jump shot. Going into the timeout, it's Phoenix with the entire momentum on their side.
Jingle bell, jingle bell.
Today's broadcast available on ABC HD, presented by Olivia. From Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant and the Lakers now trailing by 2. As we mentioned earlier this week, Sunday in New York, Kobe Bryant passed the 20,000-point mark and became the youngest ever. Oscar Robinson did it where Michael Jordan passed him. Of course, way back when, Wilt was the youngest for a long time. Kobe Bryant becoming the youngest ever to 20,000. But in the second half, and overall, this season, he's been unselfish, not just scoring.
So you come out in the second half, and he's more of a facilitator, getting guys on the weak side. Trevor Ariza running the floor, throwing it to the rim over Steve Nash. Excellent job of pushing the basketball. Could have went to the hoop, gave it up to Lamar Odom, realizing I can get mine at any point. I need to get other guys going, and he's come out with that mindset in the second half.
Now, we should remind, of course, Kobe went right from high school to the NBA as opposed to the other 3 that were on that list. There's Raja Bell. Does not get it. Bynum nearly tipped it into Phoenix and gets the rebound. For example, Wilt was the fastest to 20,000. It only took him 499 games. It took Kobe 810 games to get to 20,000 as Vucevic misfires.
This isn't baseball. You can't put an asterisk on his numbers.
I'm not putting any asterisk. I'm just stating the facts, man.
Wilt Chamberlain's numbers are so astronomical, it's hard to even believe. His rebound numbers, leads the league 1 year in assists, leads it in score. I mean, the guy, and when people talk about him not being a great winner, the guy won 2 championships. Nowadays, if you win 2 championships, you're one of the great winners of all time. He was born at the wrong time. He came up against Bill Russell's Boston Celtics too often.
He's got 3 retired jerseys. Speaking of great players, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. My favorite stat for Chamberlain, and there's so many of them, is that, people talk, you get a 20-20 game. He's the only player to have a 20-20-20 game. Over 20 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists in one game.
There's a guy that averaged 50 and 25. That will not be done. I'll go out on a limb and say that won't be done again. It's not going to happen.
Now, just for clarity's sake, defense, individual, and team defense and coaching is much better in today's NBA that Kobe Bryant had to face than Wilt Chamberlain ever had to face, with double teams, zones, all the like. Back then, it was basically mano a mano.
You notice how he slipped in coaching there at the end?
Yeah, and then they sat up, which I didn't like. He sat up and chest welled up and everything.
I didn't say I was part of that. I just said coaching is superior today.
Game time at 85, minute and a half remaining in the third. Diaw, and he's fouled on the way to the basket. And Lakers bring the penalty as Radmanovic picks up his 3rd.
What's confounding about Boris Diaw is some games he comes out and you barely know he's there, and he's such a multi-talented, multi-skilled player. When you see him aggressive like he is today, he's exactly what Phoenix needs coming off the bench. He has really played a fine game today.
You see, born in France, raised in the wine country. As mentioned, his mom was a great player. They say one of the greatest women's players in the history of France basketball. And when he started playing basketball, he says he was about 12 years old. He started playing with older kids, and he passed to the older kids because it got him praise. And every time he passed it more, the more he was picked, and he became somebody that liked to pass first and shoot second, and that became really a staple of his game from a young age because he was always playing with older guys who wanted him to pass him the ball.
And what he has to realize is every single night in this league, the way that he is used and his size and ability and what he can do, he's going to be in a mismatch. Guys are not going to be able to keep him in front of him. He has to look to be aggressive, especially to complete this Phoenix Suns bench.
Again, to be fair, those numbers in 2005, 2006, when he was the most improved, was because Stoudemire was out the whole year. But Mike D'Antoni says, number one, I've got to do a better job coaching him and finding the spot now that Stoudemire is back at Grant Hills here. But he also has to get back that consistent aggressiveness that made him such a good player. Phoenix a 2-point lead as we come up on a minute remaining. Farmar. Talk about aggressive. Farmar plays with aggressiveness every single game.
I just love the confidence that all the younger players from LA play with. They just play. They know what they're doing.
Diaw called for an offensive foul. Not happy with it. And Mike D'Antoni furious.
And here's what I love about Jordan Farmar. He is a starting point guard in this league, but he's not allowing that to impact him. He's coming on the floor and doing whatever's asked of him, and his future is very bright. He is a legit starter today.
Bell right up on Bryant, trying to distract. Stripped. Can he hold on? No. Still Laker ball with 5 on the shot clock. When they had their battles in the playoffs a couple of years ago, we'll take a look at Farmar again.
You see, come in the ball game and make a difference. Make a difference on both ends of the floor, and that's his mindset.
5 to shoot. Bryant hits a three. Just got a little space and knocked it down.
And you can't do anything but shake your head if you're Roger Bell. Excellent defense on the first trip. The second trip, you force him away from the basket and he knocks down a dagger jump.
And a foul on Farmar. Again, Lakers in the penalty. Bryant now with 12 of his 24 here in the third.
It's just great offense. Catches the basketball away, and he says to Roger Bell, did I tell you, by the way, great defense last time. Gotcha.
So Barbosa to the line.
And that's demoralizing as a defender. You just want to go cry to your mama on stuff like that. That's just not fair.
You got to have the mentality of like a cornerback in the NFL. You get touchdowns thrown against you, just shake it off.
I think in that situation, Roger Bell has to have the same mentality as Kobe. If Kobe misses some shots, it's not going to affect his next one. If he knocks down some, Roger Bell has to have the same mentality. Don't worry about it. Just continue to make them work.
Barbosa, the 5th Phoenix Sun in double figures. 1-point game in what should be the final possession of the third.
I like what Bell is doing now, trying to deny the basketball to Kobe Bryant, but his strength puts him in position to catch it.
Bryant to the basket, inside! Oh, what a finish from Bryant. Final seconds. Bell does not get it off in time. And that will end the third quarter. 14 third quarter points for Kobe Bryant. Steve Nash keeping his team positive. I think they thought he was going to pull up for a jumper here.
You got to communicate and tell Roger Bell which way to send him. They don't communicate. They allow him to go to the hoop to a strong hand. Mama, there goes that man all the way to the rim and finishing the reverse dunk.
That man, 26 points, 5 assists. This presentation of our NBA Christmas special continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Lakers up 3 points as we head into the fourth quarter. Phil Jackson, it's been a close game. Where do you see an opportunity to create some distance?
First of all, Michelle, I'm sorry you have to come over and do this. I know this is an infringement on your professionalism, and for my job here, it makes it so much easier. It's going out of your way to come over and talk to me.
I appreciate that.
Great fan game for him today. We just have to be better defensively. We're giving them open looks. We stopped our turnovers after a short span there that hurt us and gave us took the lead away from us, basically. But it looked like we got ourselves back in the order here at the end of the quarter.
You have left me no time for a follow-up question. I'm sure that was by design. Thank you, Coach.
Shecky Jackson will be appearing at Laughs Comedy Club this Friday and Saturday. 2 shows on Friday, 3 on Saturday, including a matinee. As his Lakers lead by 3. Barbosa to Morris Diaw. Kobe Bryant guarding him. Knocked away. Ball still loose, stolen by Farmar. Bryant's defense forced the turnover. Only the 8th turnover for Phoenix. Odom, Farmar, Bynum, and he got hit. Skinner with the foul.
You see Kobe Bryant battling on the defensive end, but how about the hustle of Jordan Farmar chasing down a loose basketball and then knocking down a shot previously, turns down the jump shot, penetrates the interior of the Phoenix Suns defense, and then finds Bynum underneath.
Bynum, terrific all-around game. As you see, has already well surpassed his double-double total of the first 2 years combined. It's the free throw. Reminder, visit NBA.com. You can vote to send your favorite player to New Orleans for NBA All-Star 2008. Vote daily in 20 different languages with the All-Star ballot presented by T-Mobile, online exclusively at NBA.com. 20 for Bynum. You just watch this kid's growth from week to week. Barbosa, Bell, Diaw, Skinner, and Hill. Barbosa gets inside, can't finish. Bynum's presence. Odom for 3. And Diaw the rebound. Diaw fouled on his way. It's going to go against Vujicic. And that's his 3rd. Phil Jackson remaining calm. Again, the Lakers came into this game. They've won 8 of their last 10, 17-10 overall. Jackson, he's talking before the game, said that he likes the way they've played. Says perhaps exceeded expectations, but they're wary of their success. They were very good last year early, then were decimated by injuries. A little banged up right now. But, Mark, wouldn't you say this is a much better team than last year?
Well, this is a much better basketball team. They're very deep. They're talented. We're looking at plays being made. All of a sudden, Kobe Bryant trusting his teammates, and those guys are rewarding his trust in them. They are now finishers on the interior and knocking down shots.
Yeah, this equals their largest lead of the game. Bynum is 8 of 10 from the field. Grant Hill.
Mike D'Antoni's in a quandary. He's got to go back to Steve Nash. He wants to rest him more, but the game gets away from him every time he takes him out.
Backup point guard has been a tough spot for this team as Odom gets inside, misses. Stoudemire the rebound. Barbosa is their backup point guard, but he really is a 2-guard. Inside to Skinner.
I think when Nash is out, Grant Hill should be the primary ball handler. He or Diaw. I think Barbosa is much better playing off the ball when he can get into an attacking mode earlier in the shot clock.
Farmar. Skinner blocked it. Crowd wanted a goaltend. That had no shot at going in. Curry in the finish, and just like that, the Suns back within 3.
It starts with the commitment on the defensive end. If you get stops in this league, you put yourself in a position to push the basketball.
2.5 gone by here in the 4th. There have been no double-figure leads in this game. Bryant and a blocking foul call on Skinner, much to the chagrin of the Suns bench.
You talk about the concerns defensively for the Phoenix Suns. You have to get stops coming from the weak side, a big-time block shot, and then off to the races.
Now that one looked like it may have started on the way down, but it had no shot at going in. Nash happy with his team's defense. He criticized the defense a couple of weeks ago, said he was frustrated by the lack of consistency that they played defensively. Raja Bell also said a few weeks ago, hey, we're not very good defensively. They're never going to be one of the best teams, but they have enough individual guys and obviously a team commitment to be a solid defensive team.
Well, you have to have veteran leadership and you have to have a vision. These are guys that's been around and they understand if you don't have a commitment to defend, you are going to be home early when it comes playoff time. If you want to advance, you have to get it done on the defensive end.
The bottom line is the small teams in this league, the teams that play small, will never be the best defensive teams, but they can prevent some of the pick and roll dunks by just being more solid in their rotations.
Nash, a 3. Barely grazed the rim if it did at all. Nash has been hot from outside. Odom, quick jumper. And Sean Marion goes high for his 10th rebound. Farmar fights over the screen. Skinner doesn't mind taking that shot, knocks it down. 8 points for Skinner.
Skinner has been a bright spot for Mike D'Antoni and the Phoenix Suns this afternoon on the defensive end, and also looking to be aggressive. I think that's the thing they miss most with Kurt Thomas, the former big man that's now with the Seattle Supersonics. His ability to pick and pop and knock down jump shots.
Good defense from Marion. And a whistle and a foul. Are they going to call it on Marion? He's in disbelief. Mike D'Antoni's hot. And Kobe Bryant's going back to the free throw line. Timeout. With 8:22 remaining here in the fourth. The Christmas Day game here at the Staples Center. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers trying to hold off the Phoenix Suns. And right now a 3-point lead. Bryant leading the way with 28 points.
What's up, everybody? It's Jordan Farmar from the Los Angeles Lakers. Just want to wish all you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
NBA and the Lakers care about the community. Today the Lakers continuing one of their holiday traditions, hosting children from Time for Kids. At the game today, group enjoying a catered holiday lunch with special gifts from the team and players. Brought them out right prior to tip-off. Got a chance to meet some of them as well. And the Laker girls. The NBA, where caring happens during this holiday time here in Los Angeles. Hey, Santa's here.
Wearing a Kobe jersey.
Meanwhile, the two stars have been, well, they've been stars. 21 points, 10 assists for Nash. Kobe Bryant, 28, 6 assists and 5 rebounds. Most important score right now, Lakers by 3.
And 7 turnovers, to be fair. For editorial comment or content, whatever I'm saying, he's had trouble handling the ball today.
Well, he has 7 of their 12 turnovers. Meanwhile, Phoenix only with 8 total turnovers. Bryant will go back to the line. And you know, I've said this, I don't know if I said this before, but the amazing thing about it, he's still only 29 years old.
Well, that's what's scary. There's a lot of basketball still left in this young man, and obviously some upgraded talent around him. So he's going to be around for a long time to come.
And you get the feeling that he's going to be a Laker for the rest of the year. What happens after this year, who knows? He can opt out of his contract after next season. And if he still wants out, well, then the Lakers might have to deal him.
I like what Magic Johnson said in the paper today. A part owner of the Lakers. He'd rather get another year out of him. If he wants to walk, let him walk, instead of trading for less value.
You're certainly not going to get equal value in this league for Kobe Bryant.
And by the way, what a great article in the LA Times on Magic Johnson and all he's done for the LA community.
Will Plaskey with a terrific offense. Oh, Kobe Bryant nails it. And it's a 7-point lead, equaling the largest of the game. D'Antoni furious. He wanted to travel. As Bryant has 32. And a foul away from the ball. It's against Ariza.
What's interesting, how hard he works to get the basketball, and then his ability to elevate. Dig at Sean Marion defending him, but goes away from him and then knocks down the jumper. And D'Antoni says, hey, that's a traveling violation. You kidding me? It's Christmas, but I'm Scrooge. That's a travel.
I don't know if he traveled.
I don't think he did. I think he has outstanding footwork through hours and hours of repetition.
Nash misses. Odom, his 12th rebound. Farmar will bring it back out.
That's a smart play by Farmar. Pull the basketball out and make this Phoenix Suns team play defense.
Farmar just 21 years old. Lakers a very young team with a couple of exceptions. Bryant steps back. And that was over the backboard out of bounds. He didn't stare at you after that shot, Mark. He stared at you after the last one.
I think he remembers destroying me in the finals, so that's probably why.
That was back when you played in Indiana?
I don't need you to help me on that. I said it. Let's move on, okay?
Nash gets inside off the left foot and able to knock it down. 23 for Nash.
You know, he's ambidextrous with both hands. He's also ambifootus. He can go off either foot. It's just amazing the body balance he has.
And he practices those shots. He says those shots in the paint. He practices them. Bryant, offensive foul as he just barrels in. He wanted a restricted area call as he picks up his 3rd foul.
Give Steve Nash credit. This is a commitment we're talking about defensively. Not settling on the defensive end, but coming from the weak side, getting in position to take the charge from Kobe Bryant. You have to play unselfish, not just on the offensive end, but defensively you have to be committed, and that's unselfish play by Steve Nash.
That's Bryant's 8th turnover. Stoudemire. Good defense from Lamar Odom. Another strong game for Odom. 13 points, 13 rebounds. Lakers by 5 as we approach the midway point. Oh, what a perfect pass from Farmar. And Bynum has 24. That electrifies the crowd. The pass blocked by Ariza, but Barbosa gets it back. Plenty of highlight plays here this afternoon at the Staples Center. Chance of defense. Skinner giving an open look and nails it. How about Skinner with 10 points, 4 boards off the bench?
If this guy makes another jump shot, I'm going to dye my beard.
Everybody likes playing in Phoenix. It'll be a player's dream. You come here, you get good open looks. Odom using that left hand. Tipped in by Bynum. And Bynum foul down the other end. That's going to be his 4th foul. And for Bynum, that is now a career-high 26 points for the 20-year-old.
When you think about the great centers here in Lakerland, Wilt, Kareem, Shaq will make room for the big fella, Andrew Bynum. He is coming. Great hands, his ability to make plays on the offensive end, unselfish, ready to collapse, big-time rebounder to touch to put it back in. He's going to join those big guys.
What's good? Hope you're having a Merry Christmas. I'm Stuart Scott, and this SportsCenter Minute is powered by Vizio. In Game 1 of our doubleheader, LeBron James went off. 25 points, a dozen dimes, dropping all that on the Heat as Cleveland rolled past Miami 96-82. After the Suns and Lakers, you got to flip it over to ESPN. Kevin Durant faces the hottest team in the NBA, the Trailblazers, only team ever who won 10 straight games after losing 9 of their previous 10. Now let's go back to Mike, Jeff, and Mark in Los Angeles.
Merry Christmas, Stuart. The Western Conference, a difficult conference to be in. You look, Phoenix right now, second best record. Lakers in the 6th spot. Portland now in the 8th. Just amazing what Portland's doing. Of course, Golden State was a big story last year. But how about New Orleans and what they've done this year, guys?
I think Byron Scott's one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA. He gets his team playing hard. They're in shape. They've got Chris Paul, and they play even through injuries. They play hard.
Mark, care to give any credit to the players?
Yeah, I think Chris Paul is playing like the best point guard in the league. The way that he facilitates that offense and then doing a great job of really getting them in spots where they can be effective.
Well, we see Steve Nash, and he's the best point guard in the league right now, but there's some just wonderful young point guards, Paul and Darren Williams, just to name 2. They're going to be carrying the point guard torch for many years to come in this league. Stoudemire goes 1 of 2, 6-point game with 5:13 remaining here in the 4th.
I don't think enough is said about the way that Phil Jackson put Trevor Ariza in the starting lineup. Going defensively, and he's had an impact on this ball game. I was trying to figure out how the other Van Gundy couldn't find any minutes for him in Orlando.
They were 16-4 out of the gate. He said, "Sit down, Trevor Ariza."
Ariza getting the start today, and he's fouled on the way to the basket as we go to Michelle.
Couple things from Phil Jackson in that last timeout. He told them on defense, you guys have to be aware, get back in transition and turn around. Make sure Steve Nash sees you and that you're ready so you don't give him any open lanes. On offense, he wasn't too happy about the fact that they were isolating Kobe Bryant so much. He said, stay in the offense, stop isolating Kobe.
Boy, Michelle, must be just a nightmare to try and set up a game plan to defend this team. As Bryant puts it up, puts it in. Kobe Bryant now at 34. This is the largest lead of the game.
That's what you call selective hearing. Kobe Bryant didn't hear that isolation, so he just broke him down with a right-to-left crossover.
Nash with a turnover. Only the 9th for Phoenix. Bryant to the basket, foul by Skinner. And more free throws coming up for Kobe.
And if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I'm saying, why don't you listen to your coach? Stop isolating this guy. He is too good. 3 guys in the area, goes away from Nash, eliminates the help, gets the airspace, and knocks down another dagger jumper over Shawn Marion.
You see the 34 points, but it's also 11 of 17 from the field. Only LeBron James right now averaging more points per game.
And you look, 5 guys on the Lakers have 10-plus field goal attempts, so they're spreading the wealth.
They've got a chance to play on Christmas a lot to rack up the points. 34th time the Lakers are playing on Christmas Day. And the lead is 10. First double-digit lead of the day. Nash fouled by Fisher. Players starting to squawk a little bit as Fisher picks up his 4th. And the Lakers, that's their 4th team foul. 1 away from the penalty.
Gary Zielinski has been under assault for the last quarter and a half. Every call he's made, somebody's on him. Coach, player, assistant coaches, trainers.
If you look at Derek Fisher, that's the difference of having Derek Fisher as opposed to Jordan Palmer or Smush Parker. He's earned the right to be able to talk, and you know he's not going after. He's not afraid of the moment as Grant Hill knocks down the jump.
Hill, that ball got caught on his hip for a moment, but nobody came out to him. 14 points for Grant Hill. He had a quick start. And it's back to an 8-point game. Raja Bell back in, hand in the face. No defense there. Kobe Bryant erupting now at 38.
I'm doubling him on every catch. You've got Trevor Ariza out there. Lamar Odom has Marion dunks. Lamar Odom hasn't shot the ball well. I am taking the ball out of his hands regardless. So here he comes off a little stagger screen. That ball's there. Grant Hill's got to come at him right there and make him give it up.
12 points in the 4th. Then after 14 points in the 3rd. That's a 3. And nearly came up with a rebound as Billy Kennedy, the official, trips over the photographers. Bryant making sure he's okay. Nice job.
After he yelled at him.
That'll get him to the line next time. Now Billy Kennedy. Greg Willard, Billy Kennedy, and Gary Zielinski are officials here this afternoon. Fisher trying to battle Nash. Down for 3, and he got hit. Kobe Bryant hit him on the arm. He doesn't like the call, but Bell will shoot 3 free throws.
And that was after he helped Bill Kennedy up at the other end. I like that, Bill Kennedy. No star system.
4 fouls on Bryant.
And Bryant closing the gap. Raja Bell goes up. That's a love tap. That's not a foul right there. He doesn't affect the shot, misses the shot, but getting rewarded going to the line. And the ball doesn't lie. Misses the first foul shot.
That's his first miss from the free throw line this season. Now, he's only been there 13 times.
Now, that's a foul.
Oh, are you kidding me?
That's enough. You should know as a shooter, that's enough to change your whole shot.
Did you just call me a shooter? That's the first time in my life. So I love you, Mike Green.
I've always thought you were underrated as a shooter.
He didn't say maker. He said shooter. That's a big difference.
Bell misses 2. 1 for 3, and the lead is 7 with 3 minutes remaining here in the 4th. Fisher, shot clock at 7. Looking for Bynum. Odom gets it, kicks it out. Ariza for 3.
That's exactly who Phoenix wants shooting the ball. Help off him, make him throw it to him.
Alley-oop to Stoudemire. Nash saw the defense turn its back for a split second, and he gets his 13th assist.
And with Ariza at the other end, don't feel you have to take a 3. Move in, take a 15-footer. It's a better shot for you.
If I'm Phil Jackson, I'm thinking, hey, maybe we should go back to that isolation for Kobe.
Fisher, Ariza this time to the basket. That's what he does best.
Turn down the jump shot and go to your strength. Good job of moving the basketball, and Trevor Ariza not selling on the offensive end, but looking to attack.
In his first start of the season, Trevor Ariza, 14 points and 7 rebounds acquired during the season from Orlando, helping the Lakers build a 7-point lead.
The NBA on ABC, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. GoDaddy.com, world's #1 in .com domains. Make a .com name with us. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
The tradition continues with the Rose Bowl game, New Year's Day on ABC. Illinois making their first trip to the Rose Bowl since '84, take on USC. Rose Bowl game presented by Citi next Tuesday, 4:30 Eastern on ABC. Here on Christmas Day on ABC, second game of our doubleheader, Kobe Bryant, 38 points. As the Lakers lead by 7 with 2:23 remaining. Let's hear some of the sounds from today's game.
Hey, Fish! Good pass, boys. Hey, attention, eh?
Pick him up, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up.
You gotta help out. You know what?
There's a little passion to this one on Christmas Day.
Versatility. Kobe Bryant, bilingual, talking to Vujacic.
And I like Phil Jackson has the loudest whistle of any coach in the NBA.
Nash, Stoudemire for 3. And short. Fisher with the rebound. Stoudemire, I don't know if that's what you want. The shot there. He was 1 for 7 from three-point range before that.
Give the Lakers defense credit, shutting down the penetration of Nash, forcing the jump shot from the guy that they wanted taking a 3.
Bryant inside to Bynum, and Bynum puts it in. Andrew Bynum, a career-high 28 on 11 of 13 from the field. And the lead is back to 9. Bell to Marion. Offensive foul. And Sean Marion barrels into Trevor Ariza.
The Lakers right now looking to seal the deal, moving without the basketball. Once again, Kobe Bryant, 2-3 defenders, and then facilitating, making offense for Andrew Bynum, where all he has to do is catch and finish.
7 assists for Kobe Bryant. 9-point lead for the Lakers with just over a minute and a half remaining. Bryant. Shot clock at 5. Double team, falling away. Almost went in. Nash the rebound. Nash fouled by Fisher. Not a smart foul. Not a lot of contact, but you don't want to stop the clock if you're the Lakers and put the best free throw shooter in the game on the line. They're in the penalty. So as Nash goes to the line, we go to Michelle.
Well, for this last stretch, Mike D'Antoni wants his players to deny Kobe Bryant as much as possible. He'd rather have Andrew Bynum make a play than Bryant. He sent his players back onto the court saying, play hard as heck. That's all there is to it. That's all you can do. And I cleaned that up a little bit, guys, for the Christmas occasion.
Very sweet of you, Michelle. It's like he's got to 8. Mike D'Antoni, who is such an easygoing, fun guy to be around, he gets so intense during the game. How about that? Missed free throw. They've missed 10 free throws here today. The #1 free throw shooter in the game. This is that one, and they're still down by 8. Final minute. And a late whistle from Willard, but it appeared that Stoudemire inadvertently tripped Fisher. And that's Stoudemire's 5th foul. They're in the penalty.
Phil Jackson going away from Kobe Bryant, putting Derek Fisher in a pick-and-roll situation. A lot of contact. Fisher, one of the best actors in basketball. Denzel Washington, what I like to call him, gets the contact in the foul.
And he's one of the best free throw shooters this year.
How about Denzel's new movie coming out today? That's some story. And that's not Denzel Washington.
Oh, that is Jim Belushi. Come on, man. How do you know Maroon 5 and not?
I do. The Principal. Great movie.
Fisher hits both. 10-point lead, final minute. Phoenix unable to make stops here as Hill inside pass to Marion. Good strong finish from Marion. At what point with an 8 do you start fouling and having to go for threes?
You certainly have to trap and force the action. You just can't let the clock run down if you're thinking about trying to win the game.
Well, right now they're playing defense like it's the end of the third. You should be fouling right now and stretching this basketball game. The clock isn't your friend.
And the Staples crowd on its feet. Inside to Ariza. And he traveled with 24.9 remaining. And Mike D'Antoni is going to call timeout. The Lakers making all the big plays here in the fourth quarter. An 8-point lead, Phoenix ball when we return. The Phoenix Suns curse of number 24, Kobe Bryant, 38 points, 7 assists. And they're celebrating here at the Staples Center, an 8-point lead. Suns are going to need a miracle to pull this one out. Stoudemire back to Hill. They have gotten away with a travel and lost it out of bounds. Now Billy Kennedy says, my mistake, still Suns ball.
And what I don't like is you allow the Lakers to eat clock on their last possession, then you call a timeout. I get the sense that the Phoenix Suns surrendered this ball game with 40-something seconds left to go.
Inbound to Stoudemire. Goes at Bynum and wisely draws the foul. That's the Suns' best strategy right now. Try and score with the clock stop. Now, if he hits 2 here, it makes it a 2-possession game.
Well, it does, but the way that the Suns are playing, they'll probably fall back in a man-to-man defense and not foul.
An anti-Phoenix chant erupting here at Staples. Makes it a 7-point game. Kevin Durant warming up. Seattle playing Portland tonight.
22 surgeries later.
At ESPN.
Speaking of surgeries.
Stoudemire misses. And a whistle, and here's a quick foul. Well, missed free throws certainly hurt them. As they missed 5 free throws. You'll check that 4 free throws here in the fourth quarter. And you see 10 for the game.
Right now, the Lakers, if they played Phoenix in a series, I believe the Lakers would beat them. I think they're the more versatile team, the more well-balanced team between offense, defense, and rebounding. And I think Phoenix needs to strengthen their bench. I think they need to add another shooter. And I think they need to address their backup point guard situation.
Well, they're 19-8, obviously a terrific record, but right now, and it looks like they're going to lose this game. They're only 7-7 against the West.
Well, the incredible thing, and I never thought I'd say this, a couple of months into the season, the Lakers are a more talented team than the Phoenix Suns by a landslide.
By a landslide?
By a landslide. You look at the bench, there's quality guys over there in the white uniform that can come in and have an impact on this ball game.
Well, that's a pretty bold statement. We'll have to address that when we come back.
You don't hear our man arguing.
Lakers in control. Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, another impressive performance here at the Staples Center. Bryant has 38 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Lakers as a team shooting 52%. Stoudemire. Raja Bell, the 3. Won't go. Stoudemire the rebound. Able to connect. And that makes it a 7-point game with just 12 seconds to go. And a quick foul on Derek Fisher. The Lakers are going to hold on. This will be the Lakers' 3rd win in a row. And they're now 9-2, or will be 9-2 in their last 11 games. They go to 18-10 on the season. And playing with a lot of confidence.
If you're going to be an elite team, the way you have to go about it is get in the habit of winning. And right now, the Lakers are doing exactly that.
There you see Bryant with 38, but he had plenty of help. Bynum a career-high 28. Bynum also with 12 rebounds. Odom not only 15 points, 14 rebounds. And how about Trevor Ariza in his first start? This is a good, deep team. As Ronny Turiaf is going to come in. Bynum's going to get a nice ovation right now. Led by Turiaf.
And you think about it, 2 starters from last year's team aren't even dressed today.
That's Kwame Brown, Luke Walton, and Fisher. A terrific game. Phoenix, meanwhile, after this loss, they'll be 3-5 in their last 8 games. Again, a terrific team, but they've got some work to do. Marion. And this will do it. Lakers on an impressive win on Christmas Day as they improved to 18-10. Those were Nash's numbers, but it was Kobe Bryant and his young athletic teammates. The supporting cast also terrific for the Lakers. And Kobe Bryant, 38 points. He's with Michelle.
Hey, happy holidays to you, Kobe. And this is an even happier one when you come out with a win against a very potent offensive team. What was key to defeating them?
We played very well defensively, I think, in spurts, and we did a much better job in the second half kind of corralling them and holding them down. And, we played well as a unit.
And you've been playing well as a unit, 9-2 now in your last 11, and beating the Suns twice already this season. What does that tell you about the way your young team is developing?
No, we're a solid team. You play against Phoenix, you have to be solid, and we're doing a very good job. We just have to continue to work.
Andrew Bynum, very young. You weren't always a big fan, but he is really coming along. What do you make of the way this kid is growing and improving each week?
Man, he's playing exceptional basketball for us right now, and at his young age, it's great to see. The important thing for him is just to continue to work. He's been working extremely hard, and if he continues to do that, the sky's the limit for him.
Happy holidays. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Los Angeles Lakers turning into one of the good